Have you noticed that it was easier to find a job in China in 2023 compared to 2024, and 2024 is also easier than 2025? Recently, most graduates in China have entered industries like delivery services, food delivery, and Didi ride-hailing. However, many cities have now issued warnings about ride-hailing service saturation. People have also noticed that the quality of food delivery personnel has significantly improved, indicating they are well educated. These signs suggest that the flexible employment market is already becoming saturated. Many young people in China foresee that by the end of 2024, there will only be two paths: one is to take the civil service exam, and the other is to become an internet celebrity. Speaking of the civil service exam, a recent news article highlighted a student from the University of Science and Technology of China, who graduated from the Gifted Youth class, won the Guomorua Scholarship, and earned a PhD in physics from Stanford University, researching the world's most advanced physics. Recently, he returned to his hometown and took a civil service exam. Therefore, if you plan to take the civil service exam, most of your competitors may have such backgrounds, making the competition very intense. As for becoming an internet celebrity, this is a new emerging position in society. Recently, for the first time, the Ministry of Human Resources and Social Security in China officially recognized the profession of internet streaming. This indicates that the employment market is continuously being filled. Some netizens say that as long as you have a Douyin account and start a live stream, you are not considered unemployed. But is this really the case?
朋友们看看，这个就是现在的街天情形。
Friends, take a look at the current street scene. You can't see any bustling activity, only a few pedestrians walking by. In this economic climate, if you want to support your family by running a small business, relying on hard work and determination, and hoping to invest more, expand, and grow bigger, you might end up losing everything the more you invest. With hardly anyone on the streets, where will the business come from? Shop owners are just looking at each other, waiting and watching. This year's real economy is even tougher than during the past 2 years of the pandemic. It's not just remote small towns that are struggling. Even large enterprises are selling off assets to survive. Famous entrepreneurs across the country find themselves powerless to turn the tide and are stuck. The situation for ordinary people in China can be imagined. It's not that you don't dare to invest or that you lack effort, it's that every day you toil and worry, earning only a meager living, and could even end up losing everything. What's even more frustrating is that government fees remain unchanged. It really makes one feel that running a business is worse than not running one at all. Doing nothing might be easier, with no debts and no worries.
然后就这些老百姓，这个粽子吼死狗了，死狗了。
据说啊，今年某某摘的这个粽子。
This year, a large quantity of traditional delicacy zongzi has piled up and can't be sold. Agents are desperately offering discounts to corporate clients, hoping they will buy more. In previous years, by this time, zongzi would have been sold out, and the price isn't high, so everyone would buy some. But this year, zongzi simply isn't selling, indicating that consumption during this Dragon Boat Festival holiday won't be as good as before. Now, everyone is running out of money.
Watching that taxi driver, with a bag on his back and holding a piece of steamed bun in his hand, parked by the roadside, sitting there nibbling on the bun. Everyone takes a look at the current situation in the taxi industry, and it's truly disheartening. My goodness, what has this industry turned into? It really makes one feel heartbroken.
郑州出租车到底怎么了？
I'm currently in Zhengzhou. What's happening to the taxi industry? I started driving at 8 o'clock this morning. I drove until 1 o'clock in the afternoon without a single passenger. I can show everyone my earnings from 8 in the morning until now, and it's zero. This year, business is bad across all industries, not just the taxi industry. Sigh, what are we going to do in the future? I really don't have any solutions right now.
Today, I want to share the heartfelt words of a taxi driver. He has been driving a taxi in Shenzhen since the 1990s, for about 25 years now, dedicating his entire youth to the taxi industry. However, this industry is declining. He called the citizen hotline to express his desperation. To outsiders, his words might sound like a joke, but those of us within the industry can truly empathize. Let's hear what this taxi driver has to say. He mentioned the current survival issues of taxi drivers, questioning what the relevant departments and industry associations have been doing. He said he is a veteran driver with 25 years of experience and was extremely emotional when making the call, even feeling the need to go to the hospital. He believes that the relevant departments should provide a fair environment for the taxi industry, but what have they done over the years? He questioned why the current financial environment for taxis is so poor that it takes over an hour to get a single passenger. Do taxi drivers need to beg at the government's doorsteps to get help? He also mentioned that switching to another job isn't an option, they have to keep driving. He described how he can't get a passenger for over an hour and that running all day barely covers the fuel costs, earning only a few hundred yuan. He questioned what the management departments and industry associations are doing and why it is so difficult for taxi drivers to survive and have a meal. If these departments do nothing, they might as well disband. He lamented that taxis, as a city's calling card, do not get the respect they deserve. He said that taxi drivers now have to bring their own water and food every day and can't afford to buy a drink. Many even sleep in their cars because they can't afford rent. He called on the government to give taxi drivers the respect and fair treatment they deserve, so they don't work hard and still struggle to have a meal. He hopes the relevant departments will genuinely care about this industry. If not, they should disband. This is the harsh reality of the taxi industry in China today, and it is heartbreaking. The current environment in China is really not ideal, making people feel both disheartened and helpless. Let me share a poignant story. I have a colleague who graduated from Nanchang University, a 211 project school. She told me that she was admitted to Nanchang University's literature department with a college entrance exam score of over 590. Yesterday, while shopping in a mall, I saw her working at a claw machine booth. The booth was small, and the salary wasn't high, probably only about 3,000 yuan. When I saw her, I was both surprised and reluctant to disturb her. I met her while doing part-time work. She always seemed very quiet and talented. I asked her, "Your educational background must be pretty high, right?" She replied, "Yes, I graduated from Nanchang University." Then she secretly told me not to tell anyone. She said that she always tells employers she has a diploma instead of a degree during interviews. She also doesn't dare to tell her parents what kind of job she is doing because she fears they will be disappointed. She mentioned that during her school years, she always had top grades. Her parents spent their entire life savings to support her education, and now she has only found a job that pays 3,000 yuan. She is unsure if pursuing her education was the wrong path. Sometimes, I wonder, we work so hard in school and put in so much effort to find a decent and satisfying job, don't we? But the reality in China is that if you don't have resources or connections, it's really difficult to find a satisfactory job in this society.
我老公今年37岁，他今天辞职了。
My husband, who is 37 years old, resigned today. In the current economic climate, many people are struggling to find jobs, especially those over the age of 35. Finding a suitable job becomes even more challenging at this age. However, my husband's situation had become untenable. His current job had a very low salary, with almost no room for a raise, which was completely insufficient to cover our family expenses. Recently, I calculated our household expenses for the first half of the year, totaling 58,900 yuan. Among these, the cost of raising our child was 28,000 yuan, and the mortgage was 12,000 yuan. This means that excluding the mortgage and child-related expenses, our other household expenditures were less than 20,000 yuan, covering living expenses, utility bills, social obligations, and various other costs. My husband and I haven't bought new clothes for a year, and we can't afford to get sick. Actually, there isn't much room to save more on our household expenses, so we can only think of ways to earn more money. Our child's formula milk is quite expensive because of a sensitive constitution and can only gradually transition to regular formula. Therefore, This year is the most challenging year for my husband and me. When my husband used to work in sales, he also led a team with excellent performance and results. But now, being over 35, finding a job has become very difficult. This is the so-called 35-year-old workplace phenomenon, the age when you have elderly parents to care for, young children to raise, and a mortgage to pay, where you can only grit your teeth and persevere. For breakfast today, I made noodles and fried eggs, 2 potato pancakes, and eggplant. Eating breakfast out would also cost more than 10 yuan, so cooking at home can save a bit. Moving forward, our goal is to make money. If we can't find a suitable job, we might have to consider changing careers.
This year, Chinese brick-and-mortar stores are facing unprecedented challenges. Today, let's confront the reality of these physical stores and articulate their innermost feelings. They dare not face their own predicament, much like how I dare not confront my family. They feel lost, unable to find direction, unable to advance their careers. Even after business failure, they cannot find other employment because, apart from running a store, they don't know how to do anything else. In the current environment, even if they close their stores, they cannot find good job opportunities. The market is fiercely competitive, and they feel bewildered. Reflecting on their inadequacy, they feel incapable of performing any job. Even a job as simple as being a security guard would be beyond their abilities. Previously, finding a job might have been relatively easy, but now many companies are laying off employees, facing the risk of closure. In such circumstances, what kind of good job can they find? Faced with uncertainty about the future, everyone feels lost and anxious. However, we hope everyone can calm down. As long as we can maintain our livelihoods, we should remain optimistic. Despite the challenges, we must continue to move forward courageously.
Friends, how do you feel about the current business situation of brick-and-mortar stores in China? Taking this county as an example, the situation seems rather bleak. As you can see, there are many vacant storefronts, ranging in size from around 20 to 30 square meters. Yet, the annual rents for these spaces are quite high, typically ranging from 70 to 100,000 yuan. Given the current market conditions, achieving sales figures sufficient to cover such hefty rents is indeed quite a challenge. It can be said that in the current economic environment of China, various industries appear to be somewhat sluggish. In previous years, these storefronts didn't even need to advertise for tenants. Once vacant, they were quickly snapped up. However, nowadays, even with "for rent" signs posted, few people dare to take them over easily. The current state of brick-and-mortar commerce does indeed evoke some pressure and helplessness. China is currently experiencing an economic downturn, and the wave of brick-and-mortar store closures may just be beginning. In the future, things will only get tougher. People's consumption habits have also shifted from offline to online, and with online profits, what profit is left for brick-and-mortar intermediaries? The businesses that can survive until the next economic cycle are undoubtedly few. What do you think? Feel free to leave your comments below and join the discussion. That's it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. We will continue to provide you with accurate reporting. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next episode.